I have three main things I want to talk with you about today. One of which is a wording change in NATO's language, which is going to change the course of a lot of things, including macroeconomically, militarily. We'll get into that. But I also want to mention a few things about Iran because everything's going on with that. That is the big thing to be watching right now, of course. And I also want to speak on the Bitcoin ETF. And this content just came in from CNBC literally a minute and a half ago. This is about the Magnificent Seven, the seven stocks that are encapsulating all the gains the stock market has been seeing. A lot of the best gains and how well the market's been doing has been concentrated on seven main stocks. This article is talking about how since the year has begun, these stocks are some of the leading laggards. Last year's winners are looking a lot like losers right now. The so-called Magnificent Seven, which contributed to the lion's share of 2023's gains, have all struggled in early 2024. This may be a precursor to what's to be expected as investments go back to more realistic values. I believe that they're strongly overvalued. I've said this for a while. A lot of the most highly overvalued stocks are due for a pullback, and this is what they're talking about here. Nvidia down 3.9%, Apple down 4.3%. This is since January 1st. Amazon's down 2.3%, Tesla 4%, Meta's down 2.7%. Alphabet's down 0.6% and Microsoft is down 1.5%. Those losses come as Treasury yields ticked higher to start 2024 and valuation concerns for the group arise. Oh, really? Of course, there's valuation concerns. There always has been, and now people are noticing it and they're acting on it and they're going to start getting out of those shares. There's almost maximum complacency. Nobody's worried about anything in the stock market right now. And this is obviously the time where you should be more worried than you ever have been. I got a video coming out Sunday afternoon. I got to do it and work on it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all day. It's going to be a big one, but late Sunday you should be able to get it. It's talking about all of this stuff, putting it all in a big package for you so you can understand what's really going on. What's happened with NATO is that they would never mention Russia by name. They would always refer to some theoretical enemy, near peer competitor who is got to be planned for and defended against. Now, for the first time in a long time, they are identifying Russia by name. This means that the war plans can be brought up in a different way. It means that they can say, here, this chemical plant on the edge of the river Volga is where we'll drop a bomb if things break out. That literal spot. They can identify things. They're doing war plans against Russia specifically, Russia's capabilities, everything showing you that Western Europe is more concerned now that there might be a land war with Russia than they've been in a long, long time. This will change even where troops are located, where they're moving towards. It will change the way Russia perceives NATO. A lot of things are going to come from this. This is not a small thing. This is not nothing. I've been telling you for a long time, since the beginning of everything, that this war will only escalate. Has it escalated at all since last time we spoke? Big time, in a lot of ways. There's warships, Iranian warships in the Red Sea. There's been more counterpunching, American helicopters sinking Houthi rebel boats. And of course, the big assassination of the number 2, I've heard number 4, I've heard number 2 person in Hamas. Israel's carried out a strike in Lebanon that killed senior Hamas leader Saleh al-Aruri. A U.S. official told CNN, if confirmed, he would be the most senior Hamas official killed by Israel since the start of the war, sparked by the October 7th Hamas attacks on Israel. How does the war not escalate? The big concern is a second front opening up in southern Lebanon against Hezbollah. Very militarily powerful. And as you know, as wars escalate, things happen. There's more uncertainty about the price of oil, the supplies of oil even. There's more risk premium built into the price of things like gold. I told you that gold prices would climb, and they have, and it's going to eventually get into the mining stocks. I'm not sure why it's not there yet. I also mentioned that this war will escalate, and I don't believe the escalation is finished yet. I don't think that we're cresting the top and we've hit maximum chaos worldwide. I think that we're just on the path to get into even more involvement from every aspect in this Middle Eastern conflict, which has been here from before either you or I were even born. So this is just another one thing to add to the list of things that everyone, investors specifically, are completely oblivious to. They're completely ignoring. They're not, and I've said from day one, they're not putting enough stake or concern or caution into this event that's unfolding in the Middle East. It will very likely get much, much worse. And most of that escalation will almost certainly be in the next few months. If it's going to escalate, it will be sooner rather than later. I'm not talking about 2.5 years from now. I'm talking about by the time the snow melts. This is from CNN. Could a Bitcoin ETF approval be a sell the news event? Of course it could, and it very likely will be. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the pieces or the components you need for a good buy the rumor, sell the fact event are things such as a widely held belief by the majority of people that something is going to happen coming up that will be very good for the underlying investment. What happens is that investors try to get ahead of that, so they buy in and buy it up until it pushes the asset, whatever stock or cryptocurrency, to a level that takes into account all the potential benefits of the upcoming event. So everybody is thinking the Bitcoin ETF is going to be this big deal. It'll make Bitcoin prices rise, and so they buy Bitcoin and it drives up the price until they get exhausted, until the buyers get exhausted. And a lot of times, and I'm not saying that this will be a buy the rumor, sell the fact event. I've learned that I have no idea where Bitcoin prices are going to go. I believe that a lot of people are buying Bitcoin now, expecting it to go up higher when this event happens. And what happens with a buy the rumor, sell the fact event is when the event does happen, that takes out all the people who are buying. They're already slowing down. And there's people who are waiting for the event to happen. When it happens, they don't get the pop that they wanted. They sell, and that results in the price of the asset coming down. I don't know where the prices of Bitcoin are going to go, but I do know that cryptocurrencies are always a zero-sum game. Everyone drives up the price using other dollars, other cryptocurrencies to buy Bitcoin, which will raise the price of Bitcoin. But if someone is making $1, someone else is losing $1. And the fact that it's a zero-sum game, the only way prices go higher is if there's more money coming off the sidelines, such as cash, other cryptocurrencies, other assets being sold, so they can use those funds to buy Bitcoin, which would drive the price up. Also, a constraining of the sellers. If all of a sudden no one's selling. And I go into great length talking about this in my UP.THINKING book. Hang on. This one. And a bunch of them are signed on Tammy's desk, ready to go out. I know a few of you bought this book recently. It'll be there within a couple of weeks at most, depending where you live. I know one's going to Spain. This is the first video in 2024. And as you'll see, I'm back in the studio now. Had a great holidays, but it takes a few days for me to get back up and running once I get back here on the ground. This is my 9 Secrets to Wild Success, available only through peterleeds.com. Audio copies and digital copies are also available. Hardcover, autographs, shipped to you anywhere in the world at my cost. Check it out at peterleeds.com.